everybody, it's Jason, back with another movie review, and I thought I would do something random. Here, actually, let me, I've shown this before. I've shown this huge book of DVDs that I collected throughout the years, and I used to just throw away the covers, and I don't know why I did that, but so you can see here, I got all these are filled with DVDs, just random stuff. So what I did is I went in there, and I grabbed one. Excuse me while I put that back. But I grabbed Flight of the Navigator, and it's probably hard to see because again, this is one that you can see that right there. Okay, this is one that I loved as a kid, and it was I think I had it on VHS or something like that, but it definitely didn't come out on DVD right away. So when it did, I got it. It's been a while though. I don't remember when that was, early 2000s. But we'll go ahead and go on to the some of the actors, and a lot of these actors didn't do too much afterwards. Like for example, the main kid, who's played by Joey Kramer, who plays David Freeman. And again, I don't know what happened to this kid. I'm not sure if he did anything else. But you do have Paul Rubens as the voice of Max, but he's credited as something else. I forget what it was, but I remember not being credited as him. He used a different name. Cliff DeYoung as William Freeman, the father, and I've seen him in a few things here and there. Sarah Jessica Parker's in this, and she was very young, so she has done some things, obviously, after this. Then there's a couple I put on here. Albie Whitaker as 8-year-old Jeff, the brother Jeff, and then Matt Adler as 16-year-old Jeff. And this music that you're hearing on here is music by Alan Silvestri, and he has been on a lot of stuff, including the one I definitely remember is Back to the Future. So this was 1 year after Back to the Future, 1986, when this was made, so it just seems to make the movie better to have good music like this. So there's a couple other people in there, but we won't go over that. But I always thought this movie was a little strange in a good way. So what happens is in the very beginning of it, it's 1978, and you meet a family, the Freemans, which includes the father, the mother, and David Freeman and the brother Jeff. And they're in they're at a dog show, and so in the very beginning you get some music playing, and you also have frisbees and dogs, dogs catching frisbees in the air, and you just get the feeling of spaceships, spacecrafts in this scene, and you just don't know why. I mean, if this is the first time you've seen it, you don't know what's going on, but then you get the Goodyear blimp, and everybody's just staring at it, and as an audience member, you don't know what they're looking at. It's again, you feel the presence of a spaceship. But yeah, again, that one was the Goodyear blimp, and so they're driving home. You realize that just like any other brother, David and Jeff are fighting and arguing while they go drop the Jeff at a friend's house, and then they go home. They go home. They do a couple things at home, and they're going to go out on a boat later on. This is like the 4th of July, and they're going to go on a boat and have some hamburgers and go and eat, a little barbecue, a little get together for the 4th of July and do some fireworks. So before they do that, the mom tells David that she wants him to go meet Jeff halfway, and he has to go wander in the woods, and he goes over some railroad tracks, and next thing you know, he gets scared by Jeff. Jeff jumps out of a tree, totally scares him. I remember as a kid, I remember always jumping at this scene. As an adult, don't get scared. And I always remember just getting jumped. And then obviously David is upset, and Jeff runs away, and as they're heading back home, and Jeff is running away. David had his dog with him too, his dog Bruiser, I think it was, and he hears him in the distance barking. He just doesn't know why. The next thing you know, he slips and falls down a ravine, and it appears that he hits his head. And next thing you know, he's climbing up the ravine. He goes back home, and he really wants to go tell Jeff off, you know. But next thing you know, he's trying to open the door, and the door's locked. And he's just like pounding on the door, you know, that he thinks Jeff is the one that locked it. Well, next thing you know, it's an old lady that opens the door. He sneaks in, and everything's changed. So, even as the audience member, we're like, what the heck's going on? It shows David's bedroom in the beginning of it, as he's looking out the window at a girl in this boat. And then when he goes up the stairs and into his bedroom, it ends up being a loft or a study for this old guy as he's reading newspaper. He just doesn't know what's going on, so they call the cops. And that's when, as the audience, I think we realize that it's jumped 8 years. And when I first watched this, 8 years seems like a long time. You're like, oh my gosh, 8 years. You know, lots happened, which it has, but really 8 years doesn't seem like a lot nowadays as an adult. But, so, again, in the beginning, it's 1978, and then now it's 1986. He is at he's at the police station. They take him to the police station, and the police interviewing him, and that's when they find out that he's been missing for 8 years. You know, they have flyers and stuff like that everywhere. Well, they drive him to the location of the current parents' house, which by this time they've moved, and you see the parents. They've aged a little bit. And so, but at this point, I'm not gonna go step by step on here. I just want that this part was very interesting in my opinion. So he gets taken to NASA to be pretty much their specimen. They need to study him, and they don't know why he's been gone. He's been missing for 8 years, and he just hasn't aged at all. In fact, he's wearing the exact same clothing because, just like we saw, he fell in the ravine and he got right back up. And we don't know exactly what happened at this point, and that's what NASA wants to do. And he's given NASA all these space charts and a lot of different things that are coming from his mind automatically. So he's all hooked up to these machines. You meet Sarah Jessica Parker, who's like an assistant or an intern or something here, and she's just delivers food and all this kind of stuff. And he kind of becomes her friend a little bit, you know, and obviously within 8 years there's been a lot of changes, you know, including the music has changed, the TV shows have changed, just everything. In fact, David's supposed to be 20 years old by this point in real life. You meet Jeff, he's 16, so that's when he's played by a different actor, but I thought they were both a pretty good job. Next thing you know, we're just going to speed up a little bit. He actually sees this spaceship, and this spaceship has crashed. It's a silver spaceship that's crashed, and NASA takes it into their warehouse. Well, David's actually been hearing voices, and this voice is taking it, is telling him to go to this area where they have stored it, and he goes on board, and then that's when you meet Max, who again is voiced by Pee Wee Herman or Paul Rubens. He's hilarious, and this is Disney. There's a couple of cuss words, and I think this was only the second movie that Disney came out with that had some type of cuss word in it. So it's still good. It's still family friendly. Just remember, there's a couple of cuss words that happen. It's okay. Basically, this is when he finds out that Max has been taking different creatures, including he's the one that got selected as the human, and he got chosen to be taken back to his planet, and so they can do some checking on him and just see how it is. And you find that there's different characters and there's some weird characters from different planets and stuff like that, including this huge eyeball and stuff like that. And it's you meet them, you see all of them, and he wants to be taken home. Well, basically, they fly all over the place. They end up having to go all the way back to. They fly everywhere. You end up going to Tokyo instead of Florida. They're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and they go to Tokyo. They go to San Francisco, so they have to fly all the way back over to Florida. And basically, he gets there and he sees the NASA people there waiting for him. They see the parents, and he's just like, "Look, this is not my home. My home is 1978. You need to take me back." And he's given the warning, hey, that you could vaporize, you could cease to exist. He says, I don't care. He doesn't do that. So he ends up taking them back, and next thing you know, he's back in the ravine, and the parents and Jeff had made it back home. They've been waiting for him in the boat. So he's only been gone for a few seconds. And that's it. That's the end of it. To me, I love the movie. I grew up watching it, and it's a very good movie. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Recommend watching it, and I think the kids would watch it. So give it a shot, definitely. All right, that's it for this review. Again, please go to Facebook. Go to facebook.com/DVD Review Dude and give my page a like. Share it if you would like. Please share it. I'd like to have a lot more viewers, a lot more likes. Also subscribe here. Share some of my videos. I would love that very much. All right, everybody. Take care, and we will see you next time on the next movie review.